All right, guys. So do you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, and I'm audible, right? Fine. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So just a recap of what we did yesterday in the class number. Sorry. Sorry for that. Yeah. So basically, I'll just go with a quick recap on what we did in the day number one, and then I'll also share you the agenda for today's class. And today's class would be more about setting of this local lab, PyCharm, Windows, Linux, all those things. Okay, and I'll also show you the web portal. Uh, I I just came to know some there was some issue. Some students were not able to log in, access the content, all those things. So everything will be taken care today. Okay. So just a quick recap what we did. So basically we have not tested any scripting yet. One second, let me place all on mute. Otherwise, people come with unmuted. Okay, so we have not done any scripting as of now. We are just trying to be on a platform where we have all the access to the web portal. Am I low audio? Is it? How about others? Okay, okay, fine. Okay, so in the last class, we just went through with the course presentation or with the course introduction, the scope of this course, the purpose of this course. What would you expect this next 2 months or 3 months from this course? Okay. So the PDF or PPT I'll put up on the web portal. So you basically will get all the documents which we discussed in the day number one. Also, I talked about this web portal, I basically took your email ID or whatever Gmail ID, Hotmail, whatever, and those who guys replied me over on WhatsApp, I have given them the web portal. But yes, I will show you the web portal access today. How do you log in and all those things? And those guys who haven't done this, haven't given me your email ID, then please ping me. I will add your access to the web portal. Regarding the lab access, we discussed about the lab which you need VPN. Okay. And this VPN lab is accessible for 3 months only. That is with respective to this batch. And some student raised the concern what after 3 months. So I said I will also give you the local lab. So you guys can practice on your own. But let's say if you do not have a required laptop or required configuration, then basically you have to rely on our lab server. So that is why I'm gonna give you both of them. That is lab server, which is on VPN, and the local lab. So I don't think there is any thing that is to be taken care from VPN, because you know the process. It's basically I add you to one of the respective WhatsApp group, and our lab trainer Abdul will create you the login details, and he will ping you one to one on the WhatsApp. So there is no need of any setup. I already have shown you how do we connect to VPN, how do we take the access, and yes, I have documented them in a Word format. I'll pass it on to you guys. Okay, so this is something which we discussed yesterday. Installation of zero tier, how do you connect to the VPN, what sorts of IPs that you get it, how do you connect and take the RDP session, how do you open GNS, and how do you open the EVNG. Okay, so this thing I'll pass it on to you guys, so need not to be worried. So this is for VPN lab point of view. Okay, the lab which is on our end, you will be using the VPN to connect to this. This is for someone who doesn't have a sufficient RAM, or the processor is a older processor. Might be then you need a VPN, and then you need to use our uh, server for that. Okay, so that's the only purpose, and that's given for 3 months, and it's absolutely free for 3 months. We are not charging anything. It's It's a part of your package. All right, so that was day number one. Okay, so the requirement for your laptop is i5 processor with at least 8 GB. I say at least 8 GB, but yes, the more you have, it's better. Okay, 16 GB or 32 is much more better. All right, so what about the recordings now? This recording was streamed online on YouTube. Also, those who guys have got the web portal access, you can see it on your web portal under your account. Okay, so I'll show this thing while I'm starting up with today's topic. All right, so any doubt and the day number one, are we good with that? I know some guys have not pinged me with your email ID, so do that so that I can create the web portal access. And regarding the VPN lab, once again the same process. I think you are good with that. You've been added to a dedicated web WhatsApp chat or a WhatsApp group where the accounts will be created and we will ping you. Okay, fine. So I guess that's clear so far now. So let me start up with ping me on WhatsApp. Okay, don't ping me over on the Zoom chat because I might lose this thing. So just ping me your email IDs one to one on my WhatsApp. Okay, so what is the agenda for the day? I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna walk through over the web portal. Okay, so this is a web portal where your daily scripts, the scripts that we are gonna discuss, will be put up. All the recordings of the classes, in case if you miss one of the live class or you join little bit late, so all this will be put up on the web portal. So it's very important from recordings and the script. It's a centralized kind of thing. We are not giving anything on G Drive or WhatsApp or nothing like that. It will be purely on a web portal, and you will have the access to this. Okay, so how do we access this? Once again, you guys will be given provided with this PDF after the class. I've documented all required things here. So this is going to be your course link. Okay, so let's say you copy this, you just go to one of the web browser and you just paste it. So you get something like this. Okay, or something like this. So on your left hand side, you will be seeing up the course getting piled up day by day. Okay, so this is your class one. uh, those are So this is how the class videos will be put up. Okay, now what about login? So basically, do you see this button called as login? You have to click here. So let me click that. Okay, now you would be entering your email ID which you have pinged me. So I'm basically gonna allow the access to those email ID and whatever password that I have set and I have emailed you. So I have done a one-to-one email to everyone. So let me log into my account. It's better you can go with remember me so that you don't have to do this login process every time. It would be like one time and it would be cached in the browser's memory. Okay, so once you're over here, you can see the videos. Yes, there is one more password which I would like to show. Let me go with a different browser. Okay, there is one more password, in fact, given in your email, which I'll just show it in the incognito mode. Because might be I have logged in with this credential, so it didn't ask me for the second password, but that is very important because a lot of guys get confused there. Okay, so let me click here, login. This is your first step of authentication. So you have to go with your email ID, which I sent you. Yes, this is the second setup of authentication. So this is very important. Now, this is not that login password which I just did in my previous screen. Okay. You have to use the second password, which is once again given in the email. So if you open up my email, you would have got something for username, password, and there is one more password given, which I'm not showing it here because this is uh, public even on YouTube, and other uh, student who are taking the demo are in the call. So basically, there will be two types of authentication. This is first step of authentication, and this would be the second step of authentication. So the second step of authentication, the password, you have to enter it over here. So let me do it. I just copied and I'm gonna paste it here and click on submit. Okay, don't click on complete, you have to click on submit. Now if you see a blank kind of screen, right? That could be a browser issue, so don't be worried. You just refresh once and you will see the videos popping up, something like this. Okay, so this is the process to access the video. And all the scripts, all the interview based questions, Python related uh, documents, the videos, these will be all saved under this portal, and this portal is a lifetime access to the enrolled students. Okay, so you don't have to worry about downloading, keeping it on hard drive. One fine day the hard drive get crashed, then once again doing the same step. So basically these videos are hosted on AWS server. Okay, so we are paying it, we are renewing month by month, so it's kind of like a easy process for each and every student who are enrolling us. So this is one step, that is with respective to web portal. I guess it's clear. Okay, the web portal thing is clear. If you have any doubt, you can actually take a screenshot, you can take a pic of the error, and you can WhatsApp me and ask me where are you basically stuck, and I'll guide you. Okay, fine. And one more thing, the first email had some problem with the URL, so don't go with the first email which I sent you. Go with the latest email with the new URL, or just wait for my PDF after the class, which I'll put up on you. Sorry, on WhatsApp. Okay, so you will get the right URL. So just make sure it has this October 2020 batch. So by mistakenly, I might have emailed some wrong batch URL, so that will not work for you. So this is a October batch. All right, so we are good with the remote VPN lab. We are good with web portal. Now regarding the local lab setup. Okay, once again, just to make it simplified to those students who want this on their local setup and not on our VPN. So I'm gonna show you how do you build lab setup on your local machine or on your local uh, laptop. So what are the components that you need? You need to have something from VMware. It is virtualization software which we would be installing. We have two products here. One is Player and the other one is Workstation. Now, Player is a free version. You can just download it and use it. There is no trial version or there is nothing to be paid. But in the case of Workstation, you get 30 days free and then you have to pay it. Or if you have license, then that's great. But both are fine. There's no harm. Both are fine. You can just use either one of them. But yes, you cannot use both at the same time. Let's say you have Workstation already, then the Player will not get installed. You have to uninstall Workstation and then go with the Player. So what I have done is I have downloaded this software, player software from the VMware website, and I'll also give the G Drive link for that so that you don't have to go looking for that. So on my G Drive folder, I'll place this. You can download it, and then you just have to install. It's basically exe file which runs on a Windows machine. So once you have this, let's say in my case, I have a workstation, a licensed workstation. So let me show you how does this look like. So this is how it looks like, the workstation, and I have couple of operating systems on my left hand side. Okay, so even the VM player would look very similar to this. You will see a brand new VM player with nothing, no VMs on your left hand side. For basically when you install something, it will be just a blank for you. In my case, I have so many labs because I take multiple classes like CCNP, F5 load balancer, FortiGate. So that's why I have installed a lot of instances with me. So let's say you download the VM player or workstation you installed on your laptop, you get this kind of interface. Now, the second step would be, so what would be the second step now? Second step would be, we are making it further simplified by giving you the VM instance. Okay, so basically, the normal process would have been that you go to EVNG, you go to download from this website and install it. Then you have to upload the iOS file. You have to upload all the topology which is required. You need to install Ubuntu server, ASA firewall, Juniper, whatever. That would have been very lengthy process. So what we are gonna do is we are gonna give you straight away the custom VM that is made by us. Okay, so you will be given this kind of file. Now what you need to do is you just need to right click. You don't have to go anywhere, you don't have to download anything. I'll be giving you the G drive of the first step, I will be giving you the G drive for the second step. Okay, so this is a second step now. So over here you click on open with VMware workstation, which is gonna ask you something like this. Uh, you can keep as it is without any changes. It's better you don't change anything. And whatever drive that you want to go with. I don't go with C drive because my C drive is filled with my operating system. So I don't want my VM instance because this gets extended. The memory, the hard disk space get extended the more you use it. So it's better you keep it in some other hard drive. Say for example, those who are not much familiar with the computers, so don't go with the C drive because see, right now I only have 26 GB, so it's not good idea to install my EVNG here. So I might go with this or this. This is already occupied, so I'm going with the D drive. You can go and select whatever path you want. I'm okay with this path. Otherwise, you can just browse it and just install it wherever you want. Okay, so let's click on import. And yes, one more thing, those guys who have only one drive, that is your operating system as well as all your data files, then you do not have option of D. In that case you have to go with C. Okay, since I have the option of going with my data drives, I would prefer going with D. I'll click on import. So it takes like 1 to 2 minutes to get all the things settled up. So let's wait for this. 20 to 30 GB is enough at the beginning, but this gets increased up. The more lab and more iOS file you start in, start uploading, then you need like 70 GB or 80 or 100 GB. Depends on what you're gonna upload in future. Okay, so it took hardly some time, right? So where is it? So it's over here now. So do you see this got installed? We made it very simple. Okay, we made it very simple. Otherwise, you should have gone to your uh, official website, download it, import that. The toughest part is installing the iOS and the topology which is given. So everything is packed inside this custom VM. So the moment you start this, okay, the moment you start this, all the things will be within this. You don't have to do any extra steps here. So if I write from the step point of view, we are still in the step 2 only. I just imported it on a VM and it's getting loaded up. So third step would be to browse that HTTP and we are good. Very simplified option. So you see here, we got some IP address on the screen with HTTP. It's a HTTP, not HTTPS. So this HTTP URL, I will access it from my browser. So let's say HTTP 192.168.32.153. So yes, we see something. So password will be given directly to you. Let's put up this and let's log in. Okay. I guess my password is not working. Okay, sorry. There was option of offline account. Go with the offline account. Yeah, sorry. That is why. I have 2 3 VMs. So that's the instance which I installed right now. The IP address of it is 153 because I have one more VM which is at 155. So sorry for that. Okay, so I should go to 153. So this is the screen that you're gonna get. Password will be given to you and click on login. That's all. Okay. So this is the automation lab, which of course we are gonna use it thoroughly. But apart from that, you will get my ASA lab. You are gonna get my CCNP Enterprise lab, the BGP lab, and there was one more automation lab which we had initially. So it's all added up. But yes, you are only gonna get my labs, but the workbooks and the videos and my online batches are still a different track, which you have to enroll to get that. Okay, so I'll just walk through this interface for 1 minute. So let's say I go with the automation lab, the lab which we would be using intensively. So this is the lab which we would be using. Okay, so how do we power on any instance or any node? So we right click on this, we say start. Okay, and we just double click this. So we are gonna get the switch booting up, right? Very simplified manner. Only make sure that you have enough resources to run this. Otherwise, this is a best approach for someone to practice. Username, password, I will send it over on WhatsApp or email one to one. Okay, so things are getting loaded up. So if you just close this, okay, You can also see our ASA lab. This is the ASA lab for ASA batch we had created. This is the CCNP CCI written lab. Okay. The full version of this lab topology would be something like this. So this is the complete topology which we created on GNS. And the same thing we try to replicate over on EVNG. So something like this. Okay. So this we use it for our CCNP batches. And this is the BGP lab. Okay, so all these instances are working one. You can try all the BGP attributes, all the BGP configurations, everything, all the things. And then there's one more automation lab. This is one more automation lab. Okay, so you are being given with a lot of labs. But yes, if you want to create something on your own, you just have to click on add new lab. You can just say that my own lab, add. So you would be provided with this kind of blank space where you can go with whatever instance you want to add. Say for example, you want to go with 10 instance of L2 switches. Okay, so you can add them. If you want to go with some routers, let's say you're gonna go with 20 routers. Okay, just add it. It's all your lab now. It's a local lab. uh, you can just browse, or you can go through YouTube. You can see how do you upload the other vendors. It's all up to you now. Okay, so from our side, I'm gonna give you the lab, so you can take it further now. You can install any kind of softwares, Juniper, ASA, or whatever you want to do with. All right, so this is about the lab. Okay, so this is the lab which I'll be using in this particular automation batch. And yes, let me also tell you about these modules and the interfaces. Okay, so let's say we are good with the local lab now, as well as we are good with the remote VPN lab. So you have two options to practice now. Now, what are the other things that you require here? You need Ubuntu operating system. The reason is I would be taking up Nornia and Ansible, also subprocess, Scapy on this platform, that is Ubuntu platform. Okay. Also, I need this same Ubuntu for some of demonstration, some of the lab demonstration. Uh, Say for example, when I need to show something on terminal server or jump host, I need Ubuntu. So that's the purpose of keeping Ubuntu. And from Windows point of view, Windows operating point of view, I would be installing PyCharm. Okay, while I'm inside Ubuntu, I basically don't need PyCharm. Okay, I can go with the Ubuntu's legacy terminal server, or sorry, terminal application to execute my script. But when I'm on Windows operating system, I basically do not have any good ID, so I have to go with the PyCharm. Now these PyCharm comes into two flavors. One is free and the other one is paid. So we will go with the free one, the community version. Okay, so these are all the dependency files now. So If you go with our remote VPN, you will get everything installed. That is, you will get Ubuntu, you will get the Windows operating system, you will be provided with PyCharm. If you go with local setup, you have to do it on your own. We will make it, or we will give you the simplified version. It's just about you have to uh, re-watch this video and just set it up on. Okay, so local lab setup, the VM player, and the OVA file which you have to import, and you get some sorts of uh, IP address. You have to make use of a browser and get the access of it. And then since most of us are using Windows, I have to go and install PyCharm. Okay, so I will also show you how do you get PyCharm. So if we click on download PyCharm, there are basically two versions, and yes, there are three different flavors here. That is Windows, Mac, and Linux. I'm over here, Windows. So I'll go and click on this. This is a free version, community version. So it is gonna be .exe file, and the interface would be something like this. Okay. Well, so this was about Windows, but yes, let me talk from the Ubuntu and the Mac point of view. So for Ubuntu guys, you get PyCharm. Also, you can make use of the legacy terminal itself. Okay, both are good. If you go with PyCharm, that is fine. And yes, the legacy terminal is much better if you already on Ubuntu. For Mac guys, you do not have something called as player or workstation. Over here, you have something called as VMware Fusion. And VMware Fusion is a paid version. I'm not sure they give any free trial version, unlike the Microsoft or the Windows Player uh, flavor. So basically, you have to pay and buy this VMware Fusion. There is no other way of virtualizing inside your MacBook. So you have to have this VMware the Fusion. Once you have this, then the process is very simple. You can just import uh, the OVA file which I would be giving you. Okay, so you can directly import this OVA file in on your VMware Fusion. And yes, they the Mac also have the PyCharm version which you can download it. It's only it's stuck exactly at the Fusion part. If you can pay, you can use it like Windows operating system. But if you're something which you don't want to spend on the VM Fusion, then you have to go with either the Ubuntu operating system or the Windows machine. Okay. All right. So let me just unmute you guys and let me understand if you have understood so far, or is there anything which you wanna ask me?
Hi Sagar, this is Danish.
Yes.
Means the method you have installed, this is a local method or remote VPN method?
For remote, you don't have to worry anything. It is already all set up, and you just have to log into the VPN and use it. I'm talking only for local today, local
Okay,
lab setup.
okay.
And I'll give you the instruction for remote lab access, the web portal access, and the local lab setup. Okay.
Sagar,
Yeah,
Shabbat
for
here.
me, local is fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
Okay. Actually, I got that AutoNet file.
Okay.
Okay. For the EVNG lab. However, when I'm opening it in VMware, it's giving me an error, which I have
Yeah.
WhatsApp you just now.
Yeah, I have seen that error. So basically, there's a method to release that unlock. Okay. So basically, there's
Okay.
a method to release that.
Okay.
So you ping Abdul, and he will unlock that so that you can install this.
All right. All right.
Okay.
Hey Sagar, this is Robin.
Yes. Tell me.
Sagar, I have imported your OVF file into my workstation, VMware workstation,
Okay.
And when I'm trying to open that particular thing, I open the topology. I'm trying to start the device, and it's saying started, but it's still grayed out. Yeah,
You're not able to start this. It's grayed out.
yes. I've right clicked on that, and it's giving me option for start.
Okay.
And I'm pressing that start button on the right hand corner. Uh,
Okay.
it's saying started, but
Okay.
it's actually not started. Yeah.
What about the RAM, all those things and all? Do you have sufficient RAM?
Yes, I have allocated 12 GB of RAMs to this
Okay.
particular lab
Okay.
in VMware. So I
Okay.
believe resources should not be an issue.
Okay. So check.
Moreover,
Yeah. So
I'm
check.
only starting to
Yeah,
switch.
you check this offline. Okay. So could be some
Yeah.
issue with your hardware. That is why I told you local will take a lot of time on fixing this. That is why we made it very simple by giving access to the VM. Sorry, to the VPN lab server, so that student can
Mhm.
practice from day one or day two from whenever we start this. Local is gonna take a lot of time. See how the issues coming in from one to us. I showed the same thing on my screen and it worked fine. But let's see in your
Yep.
case. Yeah. So take your time to fix offline. But meanwhile, you can also use VPN to practice.
Sagar,
Yeah, sure.
this is Gaurav. So I have
Yes.
a question. So let's say the way you have set up the VPN and the lab access is through zero tier. So for EVNG, you have a different network ID. For GNS, there is a different network ID. And once the student logs into the server via RDP, there is no icon through which student can launch the lab by himself or herself, right? So how you guys are taking care of that challenge? Because right
Like
now the way I do it,
I didn't understand. Once you log into the VM, what do you don't see?
so Abdul is helping me out to set up the lab infrastructure, right? So he gave me access to the network 10 to 4300 based on your zero tier network ID, right? So now once I log into the server through RDP, right, I don't see any
Okay.
icon or anything on the server where I can double click on it and launch the GNS3
Okay,
itself.
so on the left top hand there is a search menu. You can type GNS and you can get it. So all the application in Ubuntu will be on that top left hand side.
But I don't
But
see that
but
in the
I'll ask Abdul to create a shortcut. Okay, on the on the
Yep,
desktop.
yep. So that's what we
Okay.
was the concern, that we don't need to bother Abdul or you again and again to find that
Yeah,
icon.
yeah. So basically in Ubuntu on your left hand side there is something called as menu or application. So you have to
Oh,
click
so
that.
are you using the Unity kind of thing, like it's a hidden menu? Because I don't see it on my RDP session.
Okay, I'll take this offline. Okay, we will add a shortcut.
Okay, thank you.
Hi Sagar, this is Ram.
Hello.
Uh, Hi Sagar.
Hello. Yeah, tell me. Yes.
Yeah, both the labs, including this VPN and a remote, it's for only for 3 month access or
No,
lifetime.
no, no. See, the VPN is for 3 months, but this is on your local laptop, right? This is like lifetime
Okay.
access.
So the username and password is for the lifetime.
Uh, yes, the lab, whatever you're setting the username, password, that is a offline account only.
Okay.
It is not
Okay.
going to internet for any sorts of authentication that we will block it after 3 months. It is an offline account only.
Okay. Actually, just you set up the lab and it's asking the username and password. That's why.
Yeah, it will ask because that is how the interface is created. But that is a offline username and password. You can use it for lifetime. There is no expiry date or anything getting restricted.
Okay. And what is the minimum RAM requirement to set up the local?
Minimum would be 8 GB with i5 processor.
Okay. Yeah. Fine, Sagar.
Okay.
Hey Sagar, one more question. I mean, once you are on the jump post, all I see is the GNS3. I mean, and the topology looks different than what I have on my screen. So,
Yeah. So basically, you are trying with GNS. So if you go
okay,
with EVNG platform, you will see this kind of topology.
And
I
yeah,
am aware of your GNS that is also designed by us only. But yes, for GNS we have different topology, and for EVNG we have this one. So
and
whichever you want, you can use it.
yeah, over the same server, from where I can open the AVNG.
For EVNG, you have to open browser, and you have to go with the IP address. So that is how we open.
10.244.0.1.
Yes.
Okay,
So you have to go with this. Okay.
okay,
This
then
URL,
open AVNG. Okay,
and username and password will be given you one to one.
right, right, makes sense. Thank you.
So can we set up this on GNS3 also?
Offline. You mean
Yes.
to say offline? It is not very simple like EVNG. In the case of GNS, you have to install the client, you have to install the backend VM. I can give you, in case if you want to try it on your own. We have it on our server. I can give you the VM file.
Okay.
And the second thing why I'm not supporting GNS is because in the throughout the class I'll be using EVNG, and then student will come and tell me that why are you giving GNS, because you are using EVNG in the class, give us EVNG only. So I'm not even talking about GNS now.
Yeah, hi, Saga.
Yes, hello John. Yeah, tell me.
Yes, the issue I have with my access to the server is the resolution. When I log in through the RDP, the resolution is really very small. It doesn't look as the font size and all the details look really, really small. I don't know how I'm going
Okay.
to increase that.
Uh, have you checked your own display settings? Could be your own laptop display has to be modified.
I really don't.
Yeah. Anyway, you take it offline with Abdul. He will check it once. Okay.
All right.
All right. All right, guys. So let's start with some scripting. I will mute everyone for a couple of minutes. We are
Uh,
already okay. Who was that? Yes, please.
Yeah, in my laptop, I don't have a VMware. So in the portal, in your G drive, setup is available.
I will give you the player file. I have downloaded this just few minutes back. VM player. I'll put up in the G drive. I'll put the link in this uh, Word file, and I'll send the Word file. You can download it from there.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, fine. All right, guys. So I'll start with the first basic script for the day. We are left with 15 more minutes. Okay. So where is my local file? So I guess this is my local file. Okay, not this. This is something which I showed you. So mine is at .155. Okay. All right. So before you get started on your local system, basically a local lab, you also have to make sure that you have the latest Python version installed. Because if you use our VM, then you don't have to you don't have to do all these steps. It is already done. But if you're going with your offline approach, then make sure you go with the download button. Just download this instance. Okay. Uh, the process is very simple. Follow the on-screen method. Okay. Make sure you tick this button, the second option as well. And whatever path that it's gonna use. Just use the same path. Don't change anything. Already by default, this would have been ticked. You just have to tick this one. And then follow the on-screen. So that will install Python on your local machine. On VM, you don't have to do any sorts of alteration, because everything is been set up, everything is been ready for you to practice. You just find how to get GNS from the top hand menu, or if you want to go with EVNG, then just open a browser and whatever IP that is being given, 10.244.0.1, you can use it. Okay, I know there would be some student who are still stuck, so don't take it as a complicated step. uh, you can ping us. Okay, you can ping us to take support from us on anything if you want to understand. Okay, so what do I have now? I have my EVNG lab. I have some IDE software interpreter, Python interpreter. Already the Python instances are being called upon, so there's already my Python that is being used here. If you see here, new project, so all these are installed. Okay, so for me everything is installed, so you will see something like this. If you're missing your Python installation, then you will be getting an error here, or you will be getting a blank screen here. It will be asking you for a Python environment, so you have to install Python. Don't forget to do that. So once you install Python, you will see that the PyCharm is able to recognize Python. Okay, so this is what is for me. Okay, so I'll create some new project here. Let's say network automation October. Yes, all Python 3 dot will work for you. Okay, so I have a blank screen with me. To create any blank file, you can click on this file and new. You can click on the Python file and you can just name it, say my first script, and the extension would be py for Python. Okay, so you get something like this. Now I am gonna write a basic script, very basic script. I'm not gonna be bothered about the security concerns, the best practice. I'm just gonna show you what is the flow between the PyCharm and network devices. How does this get integrated? What happens in the backend? Okay, how is the packet moving from your PyCharm to the device or a Cisco device, and coming back from Cisco device, and we see it on our terminal, right? So we will see some packet level. I'll show you all the visualization of the packet. To show this, I'll go with the telnet approach. Okay, so to those who doesn't know what is telnet, one second. So we all know that in the networking, we have two types of transport. One is called as telnet, which is plain text, and the other one is SSH, okay, which is an encrypted format. All our 95% script are gonna be on SSH. It's only just the 5% in the beginning where I wanna show you the packet types, because that is not possible in the case of SSH, because the packets would be encrypted. Okay, so for first few classes we will not be bothered about security, neither uh, encryptions, neither best practices. We just want to write our first script. We want to understand the theory involved here in the case of Python scripting. So once we are good with all the basics, then we will move on to this SSH thing. Okay, so what we need to do is we have to have PyCharm, which is where we are gonna write our script. And from the networking box point of view, I have to go and enable telnet. I have to go and enable telnet. I have to give an IP address to this box so that my PyCharm can ping or telnet, or it can reachable to this. So basically, this and this must be in the same network. So if I say 1.1.1.1 here, this will be 1.1.2. Okay. If they are not in same network, there is no way that the PyCharm is gonna integrate with the Cisco device. So basically, you cannot push anything. That is thumb rule one, that reachability is must. Second thing, authentication. If you do not define a proper authentication method, then there is once again the script is not gonna run. So that is a second thumb rule. First one, reachability. Second one, authentication. You're good with these two things, then depends on the scripting. What scripting you are writing it on your PyCharm, and then you're pushing it towards the Cisco boxes. Okay, all the outputs will be fetched and will be visible on your PyCharm screen. So I'll first take you to the box. I'll take you to the Cisco switch or box, a router. I'll do the necessary configuration for telnet, the username, the IP address, and then we will try to ping it. We will try to do a authentication check if we have a successful authentication, and then we will start writing with the code. Okay, so let's go to the Cisco box first. So let me take the right device here because I had opened two instances of EVMs. Okay, so this is the one which I need. Okay, so what are the things that I need to do? Let's go to configuration terminal. Just change the host name. If you are not happy with switch one or something, you can go with anything. Okay, like you can go with Cisco switch 01. Let's give an IP. So it's on interface 0/0. If you see my lab, they are all on 0/0. That is what the NAT cloud is connected. So basically, this can give you IP. It has been configured with DHCP. So you have to enable DHCP and you will get an IP address. So how do we do that? So I'll go and say no switch port, because these are L3 switches. So I'll say no switch port. I'll say no shutdown, and then I will say IP address DHCP. Okay. So let's wait for the IP address. So I have IP address with me, 132. So do you see this? 132. Okay. Let's create a local username and password. Username admin, privilege 15, password Cisco. Okay. Now I'll go to line VTY 0 to 4. I'm gonna say transport input all login local execute timeout 0 to 5. Okay, just let me write it somewhere here. I'll give this basic thing in while I'm giving the script, but just for your reference, I'll put up on the notepad on the screen. Okay, basically these things will be all put up on the web portal itself. While I give the class number 2 and the script, I'll give all the prerequisite that has to be configured. So let's say I went to interface 0/0. I've said no switch port since we are making use of a L3 switches, no shutdown. I said IP address DHCP. I said username admin privilege 15 password Cisco. I went to line VTY 0 to 4. I said login local transport input all and execute timeout 0 to 5. Why do we use this? As in case there is no active person who is in telnet. So basically, if there's an inactive person who has taken the telnet, basically after 5 seconds you will shut it down automatically. This is just a networking commands. Okay, so this is the command, and let's see if I can reach to this switch now. So that is 192.168.32.200, right? I'll copy this. I'll go to my PyCharm, and I have terminal on my bottom left hand side. Okay. And I'm gonna first ping this, whatever the IP I just got it. So 192.168.32.200. What was the IP? I guess it was 132. Yeah, so 132. Okay, so this IP, I'm gonna check the reachability. Okay, so we are reachable from our PyCharm, which is on locally set up. Now I'll also check my telnet connection. So telnet 192.168.32.200. Oh, sorry, 132. Okay, let me take out that marker. Okay, so what is the username? Admin. What is the password? Cisco. So we are good with that. Okay, so I can do show IP in brief. We are good. I can do show clock. We are good. We can do show running. We are all good. Okay, now what does it prove? That my PyCharm has reachability to the Cisco box. Now let's write the scripting. So as you all know, this is the first module. Also, this is this very simplified model or module which I'm gonna start up with. So I'm gonna start something with telnet library. Telnet library, as the name defines, it's gonna work on the telnet transport of a Cisco switch. Okay, how do we call these modules? How do we rely on someone's work? Okay, that is nothing but, let's say I'm a developer. I'm a full-time developer. I just developed some module called as telnet live. Okay, and I just put this in the marketplace for free. Okay, now as a user, you have to call this library in your script. Okay, your front of your laptop screen, you have to call someone else's work, because you're a network automation engineer. You're not a Python developer. You're not gonna write this 300 lines of code. Okay, you're gonna call that in your script, and then you're gonna write the other lines here so that you can interact this with the Cisco boxes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna call it. So how do we call any sorts of libraries here? So let's say we call telnet live. Okay, and then so if I run this, how do we run this? Right click and just click on this. So you see that I didn't get any error here. If I get some error called as telnet library not found, or error, then that would have been some issues with my script. But my script is good now. Okay, when you get the error code 0, that means it's a good so far. So basically my PyCharm can call telnet library. Now this telnet library is a package of like 300 lines or 400 lines. Now we have to call the syntax within the telnet library. Okay, so this is a package with lot of lines within it, a block of lines, a block of functions, block of classes. Now inside my script, I'm gonna call that particular block, whichever block I need. Let's say I want to use this block to send my command to Cisco boxes. So basically these are something acting as a main file, and we are just calling them, okay, in our script. So how do I use telnet library in my script now? So I said I'm gonna make use of telnet library. Fine, I'm good with that. Now I have to make a provision so that my PyCharm can integrate or can take SSH to the Cisco boxes, right? So basically I just cannot write 192.168.32.132. This is not a PyCharm command. We have to convert this into some way so that telnet library can understand. So let's say I go with a variable. Variable is nothing but empty bowl where you can put some datas and you can push it. Okay, like empty bowl where you can put numbers, strings, alphabets, list, tuples, and lot of many Python data structures. So let's call some variable. So let's say I'm calling TN October batch, just a variable. Now there are certain syntax within telnet library. Okay, so let's say if I type TEL, you can see there are pop-ups coming in. So you can click on telnet library. Okay, what do you want to do here? You want to go with telnet option, so you define telnet. Okay, and now you define your IP address. That's your Cisco switch IP address. So 192.168.32.132. Okay, so this is your variable who will be later on used for read and write channel. That is basically for username, password, and all other communication with the switches. Now if we see this in depth, what happens basically when you do a telnet 192.168.32.132, what you get immediately in the next step? You basically get your switch prompting you for username. Okay, now what you do there, you just go and put your value. Once you do this, what happens next? The Cisco device will prompt you for password, and then you type your password. Okay, and then if the authentication is good, you just go inside your user executive mode or enable mode, and you're basically within the device. So we have to provision these first step, second step, third step, fourth step, and fifth step over here. That is important to take the control of any router or any switches. So I'm gonna say now these these 5 to 6 steps I gonna provision here. So I'm gonna say TN October batch. I'm gonna expect my device, whatever device, Cisco router or switch, giving me something on the screen, that is username. Okay, when I receive this from my switch, what do I have to send? I'm gonna basically write some value there, right? So I say I'm gonna write admin, because admin is my console. Okay, admin is my username set. Now once I do that, what is the next step that the Cisco box is gonna prompt me? It's gonna prompt me for password. Okay, so I'm gonna say password. Fine. Now when I read password coming from my Cisco box towards me, I have to write the value of it, right? So I'm gonna say the password is Cisco here. Okay, well, so we can see what is happening so far, if this is right or wrong or whatever. So if I run this now, okay, so it is not giving it's not giving us any sorts of uh, error so far. That means it's good with this. Okay, but in fact, if I open up some captures, don't worry, I'll tell about the B. Okay, just watch my screen. So let this Wireshark open. I'm gonna show you what is happening in the backend. I'm gonna take 10 more minutes, but I'll tell you what is B, what is string, what is ASCII, what is what here, okay, before we end up today. And more detail on this in the next class. Why we use B, what are the characters here, the encodings. Okay. All right. So 1 second. Okay, so I have Wireshark with me. So let me run once again. So basically you can see here, there's no reachability so far. Okay, so there is some issue yet. Let's see what is the issue in our script. Okay, so the issue here is that we are not taking care of the next line thing. So let's put up this next line. Okay, so let me also complete this since we are bit delayed up. So we will take this from scratch in the next class. Let me just write this. And then we will print this. Okay, so let me check. Okay, so what happened in the backend? Okay, looks like this Wireshark is not effective. So I can just debug here, but that will be not so visualizing. Okay, I will show this in the next class. So if you enable the debug, you can see the packets coming and all those things, but it will be not so visualizing like your Wireshark. I wanted to show you what happens in the Wireshark step by step. So I'll show you in the next class. Okay, so you can see all other things what are happening in the backend. If you run this, so you can see the PyCharm integration. Okay, so let me quickly walk through on over here on the script. So the B, those who are asking about the B is nothing but bytes here. Okay, and if you refer to the PEP design guide released by Python 3, we are supposed to make use of bytes. Okay, whereas in the case of Python 2, the PEP design used to say that we can go with strings or we can go with ASCII. Now that has been changed. We cannot make use of a string, so we have to go with a byte. Okay, now what are data and string? Basically that is a data structure. So in the data structure we have string, which is nothing but the alphabets or the characters, like let's say automation. So this is a string. What is a integer? The numbers like 1 or 2, or these are numbers. Similar way, there is something called as bytes, list, tuples, dictionaries. So basically this was being used in Python 2, but we are not using it any further. We are making use of byte. Now why do we make use of byte and why don't we make use of string? Now there is, as I told you, there is a small story behind the string and bytes. In short, I can say that I'll come back to this once again. Tomorrow we will start directly with the script, because we have gone through with all web portal, lab, all those things. Okay, so in very simple terminologies, if you know the English characters, the numbers, basically these are all part of the strings. Okay, these are all strings. Now what happened was, as technology got advanced, as we see Python is getting integrated with Raspberry or network automation or servers, so basically the languages got a drawback. Now the thing was, Python 2 started seeing as a drawback. There was vulnerabilities issue. The limitation of Python 2 was more because of the shortage of support to other languages. Say for example, Hebrew, Chinese, the emojis that we use on the WhatsApp. Now these are all the languages which make use of 2, 3, and 4 bytes. Okay, they make use of 2, 3, 4 byte, which is wherever this one it takes only 1 byte. Okay, so by default Python 2 was making use of this data structure, but in the case of Python 3 we are gonna with this data structure. That is why the difference you see, we make use of B to support advanced encoding over here, whereas here we don't make use of those labels like B and all those things. Okay, we will check this out tomorrow. Okay, for as of now, let's wind up. We will come with this encoding straight away. The whole class will be about encoding, conversion of ASCII to UTF, all those things. So I'll tell you this. Okay, so I see some student have to uh, have some like they got some office in the morning, so don't want to take any further time here. Okay, I basically had opened and kept all the converters with me. I thought I can show this today, but not an issue. I'll show it tomorrow. Okay, the different converters, why we use this B, not string, all those things. Okay, so let me unmute you guys. If you have any sorts of doubt from class today, I'll answer, but any doubts with regards to the bytes encoding, we will take it in the next class.
Hey, Sagar.
Yes.
So it's regarding the lab access which you have shared, right? So for EVNG, it's not RDP access. It's basically you put the IP address in the URL browser, and that opens up the web portal for EVNG once the user or student logs in via credentials. Now, where is going to be the PyCharm to access the devices or run the scripts? for EVNG scenario?
So it will be inside the RDP itself. That is why I say that go with RDP and then open up the EVNG. So you will get the PyCharm inside itself.
No, but
You
Abdul told me to use a browser directly for that because somehow the RDP for the EVNG instance is not working.
so do one thing. If that is the case, then there is a Docker which we created for PyCharm, which is within the EVNG only.
Yes, I can see it there. Yes.
Yeah, so you can use that for automation.
But PyCharm is not installed, I think, in that Docker.
Is it so?
Yep.
I'm not sure. I have to check it in the back end.
Mhm.
Okay.
But
So when I saw yesterday it was there, I have opened it. Might be now he's updating with the new version or something. Yes, I will share the EVNG files. Okay. And yes, sorry for going little faster at the end because I got requests from students coming in to wind up, so I just had to close whatever I started with. Okay, so we'll take this from scratch tomorrow.
Hey
Sagar,
Sagar,
please send a
Yes.
document.
for lab setup, I need Abdul contact. Can you
you
please?
you ping me offline. Okay, might be you joined for the first time, so that is why the concern. You ping me after the class.
Sagar, I haven't received any VPN ID and credential. Also, please share this document.
Yeah, I
I
will
can
share
check
you.
the.
I will share you this. I'll share you right away after the class. Okay. Only thing why I have not shared is because I have to put the G drive link, right? So once I upload the G drive file, then I can share the PDF with you.
Sagar Shahnawaz here. Can you please also share the secure CRT software, please?
Secure CRT. This is in my local. It's not in the remote. I guess in the remote. I think in the remote also there is a secure CRT. I guess.
Okay. No, what I mean that by any way, can you share the secure CRT software on Google Drive or something?
But what about the license? There, you will not be able to use without license. It's a license
Okay.
based. You
Okay.
can
So
use
in
our
that,
server. Yeah, you can use our server for secure CRT because we have the license inside server.
okay, okay, I got it. Then no issue. I thought
Okay.
that it can work without license also.
No, it don't work that way.
Okay, no issue.
You
Thank
can
you.
you can go with the other terminals if you want
Solar,
multi.
nowadays is there, and maybe Putty also.
Yeah.
Correct now?
Yes. Solar solar putty will work.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, guys. Okay, I'm winding up. And sorry once again for taking 10-20 minutes above the threshold. The reason is the first 2-3 classes will be more of overview on all this portal. So just thought of taking a small script, but at the end I felt there are students who have a morning shift and all those things. Okay, so we will catch up next day. And thank you everyone and take care.
Not a problem, Sagar. I have shared my email ID on your WhatsApp. Can you
Yeah,
please give me
yeah,
that? Yeah,
guys.
thanks. Sure.
Once again, those who have not given me the email ID for web portal creation, please ping me over WhatsApp with your email ID. Okay. Thank you, everyone. I'm winding off, and good night,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you,
Okay.
Sagar.
Thank you.